Hello YouTubers, it's DasGregor. I haven't made a video for a little bit, and I've had a lot of emails and people asking me why I haven't done anything recently. I've just been really busy trying to do things, and just I'm really bad at getting stuff done. Anyway, I had somebody write to me a couple weeks ago and asking me about some of my stories and why I hadn't published anything, and they inspired me to try to do some more writing. So, fresh off the press, here is chapter 1 to a new short story that I'm doing currently called A Trek in the Desert. Chapter 1. Bored. "I'm bored," quipped Jim as he drummed his fingers on the kitchen table. He had just finished his last slice of pie from the pizza delivery box sitting at his side. "At least the anchovy bacon and jalapeno pizza was good. I think that's the last of it from last night." "Well, what you want to do about it?" asked Tom as he slurped the last of his soda. "There ain't nothing to do around here." "I don't know, but I don't want to hang around here all day. Maybe we should go swimming," remarked Jim. "No, we went swimming 2 days ago. I'm still waterlogged from that. Maybe we can catch a movie," returned Tom. "No, nothing good is playing, and I'm tired of just sitting around. Seems like that's all we do anymore." Jim picked up a magazine and lazily began to look at the pictures. He turned the pages slowly, as not to give it away that he was just using it as an escape from the drudge of summer. "We could always go hiking," suggested Tom, not ready to give up just yet. He was grasping at straws, thinking of something to get them out of the house. "It wouldn't take much to drive up to the White Tanks and walk some of the paths. It's been a while since I walked up to the old dry waterfall, and they have plenty of paths to take. It's still early. We could take some snacks and water. Make a day of it, you know." Jim put down his magazine and thought for a bit. He wasn't too crazy about spending a day in the Arizona sun, but it had been a while since he'd been to the White Tanks, and it's a neat place to look at nature and see the desert. It's not too far, and it could be fun. "Why not? It seems like that is better than just hanging around here," he responded to Tom. "Great!" cried Tom. He was excited to think about the prospect of finally doing something. "I'll get some sandwiches ready and pack some water. You should never go into the desert or hiking trails without plenty of water," Tom told Jim. "Look who's talking," jibbed Jim. "You're the one who went off all by yourself, forgot your water, compass, and your cell phone. You're really lucky that those other hikers happened to find you moaning and squalling. You might have been lost forever." "Ugh, don't remind me. That was so embarrassing. But that was 3 years ago. I don't I don't do that anymore. See, I'm taking you along this time. If we get lost, at least we'll have each other to yell at," laughed Tom as he opened up the fridge to get some sandwich-making material and pulled out some bottles of water. He grabbed some ham and cheese, then pulled out the jelly. "Do you want a couple of PB&Js, or will you be happy with ham?" he asked Jim. "I'm not sure I trust that ham. It's been in there a few months," replied Jim. "It may be bad." "Okay, it's PB&J for the both of us then," said Tom as he put the ham back in the fridge. "Guess we won't need the cheese either," he said as he put it next to the ham. He went to the cupboard and grabbed the peanut butter, and then got a butter knife to start spreading the gooey ingredients on the bread. After he had made a few sandwiches each, he placed them in the little container and put them in the backpack. He then placed the water bottles in the backpack, putting them below the sandwiches as not to crush them. "I'm to go change into some more comfortable clothes and put my hiking shoes on," he said to Jim. "I don't want to go out there in what I'm wearing now. I'll be back in about 30 minutes. "What? You afraid you'll scare off the wildlife? When you come back, why don't you bring some chips or something? You don't expect me to foot all the food bill, do you?" "Hey, at least I made the sandwiches," retorted Tom. "Yeah, with my food, don't you know?" returned Jim. Okay. I'll see what I have when I get home. Tom left Jim still sitting at the table. He hadn't moved since that last slice of pizza. A grumble began to rumble in his stomach. Oh, that can't be good. Maybe I should have held off that last anchovy. It looked like it had a little more hair than it should have. He rushed to the bathroom. Tom and Jim had been friends since high school. That was just about 9 years ago. They still spent so much time together that Jim often wondered why they didn't just rent one huge house and share the expenses. It seemed like they were always together. Then he remembered, Tom was always a neat freak. He always had things cleaned, organized, and always in their place. Jim's mind wandered to the ham in the fridge. I wonder if that is still good, he thought to himself. He went back to the fridge and pulled out a slice. It doesn't look too bad. Smells okay. Why not? He rolled it with a cheese slice and popped it into his mouth. A little slimy, but it tasted just fine. Both Jim and Tom took their vacations from work at the same time. They never really had anywhere to go, so they just stayed in town. It was 3 days into their week-long extravaganza, and they both had run out of things to do. Neither one was too keen on water, but it had been so hot a few days ago that they had decided to go to the local swim and water slide park to rest and relax. There were enough kids there to give anyone a headache, and they had decided very quickly that it wasn't worth the aggravation just to cool off a bit. Jim cringed at the thought. Some people should never be seen in a bathing suit in public. He then sighed. Some people should wear them all the time. His mind began to wander about a few of the local college girls they had seen sunbathing, and Jim heard the front door slam. "Hey, Jim! I'm back! Are you about ready? I brought some chips and apples to take with us. You think that makes us even on the food situation?" Tom asked Jim cajolingly. "Yeah, I suppose, but you're carrying the backpack. Apples can weigh a guy down," Jim jeered. "It's my backpack. I'll carry it. Don't you worry. Are you ready, Tom?" "Are you ready?" Tom asked. "You already asked me that," Jim said. "I need to find my shoes." He began searching the apartment for his shoes. He couldn't remember where he put them. "Check next to the sofa," yelled Tom. "Well, there's the left shoe, but where's the right shoe?" Jim kept looking about. After about 10 minutes, he finally came back into the kitchen where Tom was waiting. Both his shoes were on. Jim had a puzzled expression on his face. "Well, where was the other shoe?" asked Tom. "You don't want to know," answered Jim. "Let's just go. Who's driving, by the way?" "I'll drive. The last time I went with you in your car, I couldn't get the smell of fast food and motor oil out of my clothes. I think I ended up burning the shirt I wore," Tom answered. Jim slugged Tom on the arm. "Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad." "Ow!" moaned Tom, feigning pain. "You're just used to it. Trust me, we should take my car. I just filled the tank up with gas, so I'm all ready to go. I bet your car is on empty anyway." I do think it is empty." "Your car it is. Let's go," said Jim. Tom and Jim left the apartment. "Aren't you going to lock your door?" asked Tom. "Since when have you known me to lock my doors?" "What do you think I'm afraid of? Someone breaking in? You think someone's going to come in and clean? They'd never find anything otherwise." "Nah, I'm not worried." Jim jumped into Tom's '87 Nissan Pulsar. "I can't believe you still have this thing," he said to Tom. "Well, you know, it's my poor man's sports car." Tom started the engine and headed towards the white tanks. End of chapter 1. I know it's kind of a little slow, but hopefully it'll get going and moving pretty soon. I got some interesting twists and turns I think that you'll like, and hopefully you'll have a little bit of humor and a little bit of strangeness. We never know what they'll find in the white tanks. Stay tuned for chapter 2, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks a lot, and bye.